If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Career Mode RTG here on FIFA 16. It's the return to glory with Nottingham Forest, and it's the first game of the episode here at home against Bristol City. A difficult side to play against. They've just come up from League One into the Championship, thanks to a very strong season last year. But previous to that, they were challenging for promotion out of the Championship into the Premier League just a handful of years ago, sat in and around the playoffs for a couple of seasons back to back. So we know that they have the quality and the experience to cause us some problems here. They're playing 5 at the back though, away from home, which is perhaps understandable considering the fact that we are in the top 2 or 3 in the league and have been in good form recently. But still, I would prefer sides don't necessarily go quite so defensive against me, because it does make it very hard to break down the opposition teams. And actually, they were having a decent time of breaking me down at the other end. They've already had one chance in the opening couple of moments. So here on the attack again, 6 minutes in, Brian is getting the ball into the middle to Marlon Pack. He squares it across to Freeman, who flashes his shot just wide of that near posts. And they're continuing to be on top here. A throw in just before the 20-minute mark. Brian again stands the ball up into the middle. Cox chests that down somehow around the defender. His shot comes back off the post. Mancien decides, despite me telling him to clear it, to chest it and then try and volley it out. Horrendous decision, Michael, because you chested it straight to the Bristol City attacker, who then volleyed it into the back of the net. Brilliant, we're 1-0 down. Chance to make it 1-1 though, a few moments after. Britta Sombolonga though almost gets caught from behind as he's having that shot. Question of whether that should be a penalty or not. Definitely impeded his ability to take the shot, but I'm not sure whether he kicked it against the defender and then fell over, or kicked the defender in kind of his swing at the ball, but he fell to ground. The shot was wide, as was Henry Lansbury's, despite no interference in his attempt of taking the shot. Nelson Oliveira into Britta Sombolonga here in the second half, trying to get ourselves an equaliser still. Jordan Ibe into Nelson Oliveira again, whose goals have dried up recently. Nice shot from the edge of the box from Henry Lansbury, but still can't get the ball past their goalkeeper. We're 1-0 down as we push further into the half. Corner coming in from Bristol City. Up goes the defender with a header, but just wide again from Marlon Pack. In fact, Pack's a midfielder, not a defender, but still, it's a decent header actually. Wasn't that far away. Mancien, I believe, was underneath it as well, trying to clear it away. Again, Mancien almost making a mistake there to maybe even knock that into his own top corner. But Henry Lansbury with a shot is initially well blocked. It drops to Oliveira around the corner to Burke, and we do have our equaliser. In front of the home fans, up at the other end, just before the hour mark, it's 1-1. Can we build on that? Can we get ourselves a goal now to go in front? Chris Burke again involved down the right-hand side. Back to Michael Mancien. Decent cross. Henry Lansbury underneath it. We can get ourselves a goal to go in front. 2 goals in 6 minutes, and we go from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. The clock is rapidly going there in the top corner, but a brilliant header from Henry Lansbury. He almost did he actually did do a full 360 spin whilst the ball was in the air on its way to him, and a decent header to get it into the back of the net. Good power past the goalkeeper. Around the corner here from Oliveira to Sombolonga, but a good save from Frankie Fielding stops us from extending the lead to 3 minutes before time, but we were able to see it out. We get a 2-1 victory against Bristol City, but that was a difficult game. They deserved something from that, Bristol City. They were very difficult to break down, and they were worthy of a point, but they didn't get it, and we'll hope to show a similar level of performance from an away side in this game, but get the result that we did with the home side in the previous game. Here against Reading, they've got Jamie Vardy up top. They brought him in from Leeds. From Leicester. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on in the Championship again. Why Leicester would let him go, I've absolutely no idea whatsoever. But we're continuing to start our 4-4-2, which has been very successful for us so far this season. Stephen Quinn into Liam Kelly, though, around the corner to Williams. Williams into Gunter, the former right-back of Nottingham Forest. Gunter into Kelly. Kelly with a shot. Brilliant save by Doris de Vries. And he's able to get there for the rebound as well, although I think, actually, the header was headed wide of the far post rather than about to nestle in the bottom corner. Williams, though, on the attack again. Danny Williams into Liam Kelly, across to Hurtado. Tries to get it to the Jamie Vardy. It does actually reach the record breaker after a deflection from a teammate, but Doris de Vries again on hand to make a good save. Nelson Oliveira trying to battle Quinn there for the ball, but Reading was so dominant in this first half, I couldn't even get the ball out of my own half, let alone have a chance. That one flashing just wide from Danny Williams, who scored a very good goal in Reading's last game that was shown on TV. But Chris Burke gets tackled on the ball again. Kelly on the ball. It seemed to be at the heart of everything that went forward for them. Vardy tries to loop it into the top corner with a header from the edge of the box. But again, De Vries behind it and a comfortable save. Kelly into McCleary. McCleary gets it down the line to Kelly. His shot is just so unlucky not to fly into the back of the net. A brilliant strike off the base of the post and out for a throw-in for us. Another Reading attack. I could not stop them from just flying at me here at the Medeski. They were absolutely unstoppable. Hurtado down the left-hand side. Great cross in. Vardy beats the defender to it at the near post. Beats the goalkeeper to it at the near post too. And he makes it 1-0 to Reading with 15 minutes to go. I could not argue whatsoever with them being 1-0 up. It was clear that they were the better side. Chris Cohen came off the bench and he was involved in creating a chance for Britta Sombolonga that was, again, really unlucky not to go into the back of the net. Brilliant save from Ali Al-Habsi to tip it up onto the bar. Cohen's follow-up effort was a simple save this time around. And spoiler, they were the only two chances we created in the whole game. Gunter with a great cross and Jamie Vardy so desperately unlucky not to make it 2-0 there. Reading deserved a 6-0 victory from this. I got completely outplayed. That was a similar sort of game to the one we played against Preston earlier on in the series where we got battered 4-0. And to be fair, that could quite easily have been a worse and heavier defeat than that. In that game against Reading, I just had no answers to what they were throwing at me. None whatsoever. Nice growth from our scout future star goalkeeper though so far this season. He hopefully will turn 16 soon so we can call him up to the first team properly and be able to play him in some games. We've got another game in the league though to round things out for today's episode. It's the third game against Rotherham at home. Starting again, our 4-4-2. It's actual run of fixtures for the first time in this series, 14 episodes in, where we've had a week's break between each game. For the month of, I think it's October, it may even be November, we may be that far in, I can't quite remember. But for the month that we're in right now, we just have 4 games on each Saturday of the month and no interference from any other competitions, which is a godsend. The only thing is, we haven't been able to take advantage of that. We got victory against Bristol City, but I would have loved 3 points against Reading as well, but I was low on confidence heading into this one after such a disappointing performance against the Royals. I was hoping it wasn't going to, kind of carry on into this game at home again against Rotherham. We are one of the best home sides in the league, and we did get a win against Bristol City at home, so I was, hoping we could return to that form rather than the form we had against Reading. But Leon Best with a cracker from the edge of the box to make it Rotherham 1, Nottingham Forest 0 after 16 minutes. Great. So then, shall we actually have some chances of our own this time rather than letting the opposition just completely dominate me for 90 minutes? That's what we'll try and do here. Nelson Oliveira turns inside. Good space to find the ball to Britta Sombolonga. Drops to Jordan Ibe. He was offside. I thought when the referee blew his whistle there that it was for a penalty because Ibe had been taken out from behind from the goalkeeper, but unfortunately it was because he was the wrong side of the defensive line when the ball broke to him. We unfortunately also lose Britta Sombolonga to injury here. He gets crunched by the goalkeeper. It's actually concussion. You can see him holding onto his head there. He's almost headbutted the midriff of the goalkeeper, I think, as the keeper came to punch it clear. Oliveira tackles the man in the middle, though, gets it to Cornet, who came on for a Sombolonga. Waiting for Lansbury to be onside. A brilliant reaction save from Lee Camp to keep us out. He, too, I think, is a former Nottingham Forest player as well. So you can well imagine what the fans behind the goal are saying to him after making save after save for Rotherham. Here we had another chance that was well saved by him at the start of the second half. Lansbury working this into Renato Sanchez. We were much more involved in this game than we were in the one against Reading. Jordan Ibe gets unlucky. That shot was on target before Buxton gets in a good foot to stop us from equalising. We're still dominating the game though. Renato Sanchez across to Henry Lansbury. Surely it's only a matter of time before we get ourselves an equaliser. Nelson Oliveira into the box. Would have put my money and my house on him to score that 3 or 4 games ago. He's in a real rut right now, Nelson Oliveira. He cannot seem to buy a goal for love nor money. Henry Lansbury into Chris Cohen. Cohen across to Nelson Oliveira. Again in a position where he scored multiple goals this season. Lee Camp makes another save. Drops to Oliveira again, and he just can't get the ball free out of his feet to have the shot. It's a 1-0 defeat at home against Rotherham. A disappointing episode, all told. We were pleased with the turnaround against Bristol City. Britta Sombolonga's now out for 3 weeks with that concussion. But Reading, no, I've got no qualms with the Reading result. They deserve to win that. They completely outplayed me, but I was extremely disappointed with the game against Rotherham that we weren't able to pick ourselves up all 3 points from that game. We dominated it the same way we did against Bristol City. We just weren't able to get the final result in the end. We do still sit third though, and we're only a point behind QPR in the automatic promotion spots. However, we are also only a point ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, who have a game in hand, as do Hull at the top of the table, who could extend their lead to 8 points over QPR and 9 points over us. Hull City look like they're running away with the league title right now, but that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. Check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days. This is going to be the last episode of this series before Christmas, so hopefully you guys enjoy your Christmas day. Fingers crossed you get everything that you could possibly wish for underneath the tree, and you just, in general, have a wonderful Christmas with your family. But that's all for me for now. Thank you very much for watching. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description and on screen as well, and all the social media links are on screen. You guys know this by now, but it makes sense to just continue to plug it at the end of every video. But that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.